Welcome back to Numbers Scream with Tom Ellsworth, the Biz Doc. This week, 5 pieces of information we're going to dive into, all relevant, all impacting businesses and personal lives just like you and me. First up, we've got credit card debt hits 1.3 trillion United States. Whoa, all-time high. Then California exodus. You're not going to believe this. Exodus to Vegas. Then inflation is cold, but gold is hot. I'm going to show you the correlation in one chart. And guess what? Home sales are down again, and many of us are down about not being able to find a home. And finally, EV sales are crashing. Those are the 5 things we're diving into this week. First up, credit card debt. What's up? The balance, the debt American households are carrying is now 1.3 trillion. Let's take a look. As you can see, going from 2008 and the housing crash, remember when they said that was one of the worst economic things that could possibly happen to us? And it was? Well, guess what? Credit card debt didn't even get to $900 billion. We're sitting here at $1.3 trillion. You can see when COVID happened, 2020, we were all trapped inside and we weren't working. So what are we spending on? DoorDash and credit card debt. Take a look at that as we didn't work. We bounced out in 2023, a big spending year, and the debt and the interest on it kept piling up. And we were here, and then suddenly it dropped down. Why did it drop down? Goes all the way down to 700. What does this drop? Stimulus checks. Remember when the government during COVID sent out all the stimulus checks, over $1 trillion worth? Guess what? People said, when surveyed, number 1, number 2 answer was, I paid off credit card debt that I built up during COVID when I didn't work or I was furloughed or I wasn't working as much. There you go. And it gets paid back down. So everybody's looking at it from 2019 to 2024. Hey, great. The credit card debt went away. But then what happened? Americans ran it right back up again. Look at all this in those years, and here we are at the first quarter of 2026. We have now hit 1.3 trillion. This is not good news because we are now in a position where people have to pay it down naturally and do something about it naturally, but wage growth has not been there. This is a bad sign for the economy this year if people keep spending versus paying down the credit cards. But when they don't spend, then profits don't come to companies and the stock market will grow less. It's all connected, and we're going to see it play out in 26. Number 2, guess where people are thinking about moving? Well, people in California are thinking about moving to Vegas. Zillow and Redfin and Realtor.com are reporting that 23% of the searches for homes in Vegas are from people that are currently searching from California. So what are they thinking? They're thinking about moving from California to Vegas. Why is that? Well, we're hearing all about the billionaires. Mark Zuckerberg just moved to Indian Creek to reportedly approximately a $200 million compound down in Indian Creek, which is a very wealthy coastal area of Miami. And we've heard that one of the Google partners is down there. And the people and the billionaires that have left because of the billionaire tax that's coming on the ballot this year, that they are moving. But guess what? What is this? This is everybody else. This is regular citizens like you and me looking at insurance crisis on home insurance, on car insurance, cost of energy, overall cost of living in California, where the average house is at a median of $1 million, 1.1 million if you live in the Bay Area like San Jose. And so they're searching in Vegas. Vegas is not just about Sin City. There is a sprawling community outside of Las Vegas with the average home value of $435,000 to $465,000, half of what it is in California. So what are Californians doing? Whether they're looking for jobs or whether they're going to retire, they're looking outside California, and they're not leaving Las Vegas. They're thinking about Las Vegas. Third, inflation is cold, but gold is hot. Let's take a look at the two and see how they're related to the value of the US dollar. First of all, on this axis, we have the Consumer Price Index, which is roughly equivalent measurement to like inflation. They may not be exactly alike, but they're only a couple tenths apart. It's what it means for you and me in terms of what we see, the value of things, or the price of things actually, that we're looking for going up. We go from 2.9% annually to 2.4%, which is just what got released. that under the Trump administration, love him or hate him, his administration is setting economic policy, and this is what's happening, that the inflation rate is down at 2.4%. Remember when the Fed said they wanted to see inflation closer to 2% before they would lower rates at a more rapid rate, which would help the affordability of housing and help companies get loans at lower prices to expand and buy warehouses and do all the things they need to grow? Guess what? You're very close to it. But along that same line, what is going up with gold? At the same time, this axis shows where gold went from 2,800 to 5,500. I think we're 5,450 this morning as we look at this in the middle of February. And look at that. Why is that? Well, it's because the inflation was down, but at the same time, the purchasing power of the dollar is still impacted, and the actual value of the dollar as a currency was down, which means gold value goes up. It takes more dollars to buy gold. Bingo. So more dollars to buy the same gold, the price of gold is up. So you can see how it's all correlated, and gold is something of an inflation hedge, at least if you listen to Peter Schiff and the people that are proponents of it. Should you have all gold? No. Is it prudent to have some gold or a gold ETF? I would say probably yes. I'm not an investment advisor. Make your own opinion, but let me tell you, the proof is in the data. Number 4, housing prices are down again. Let's look at the data. The red line shows how many houses are going to be selling on an annual basis. So 2023, we sold 4 million, a little over 4 million. 2024, and then 2025, 4.15. Whoops. Now we're all the way down 2026 at an annualized rate that would be only 3.9 million houses. Why? I thought interest rates went down just toward the end of the year. I thought mortgages were a little bit more affordable. Well, guess what? The price of property tax on those homes and the homeowner's insurance have gone up and haven't come down. Those are impacting the overall monthly rent. Because remember, think of it this way. If you own your home, but you pay the bank, you're really paying the bank as a landlord. That's almost like rent. But then at the end of the year, you got to pay the county for the property tax. And during the year, then you have to pay every month homeowner's insurance, which is liability insurance and the insurance to replace your home in the case of a fire or flood or whatever it is. So guess what? The overall affordability has been very stark. Why? This here, down here, this is median household income. Income has not risen materially over those years, number one. The home sales are down, and the median price, it's ticked down a little bit here from 415 to 397. But until this goes up, then the distance here is really the affordability crisis, and it doesn't matter how inexpensive the payment gets for interest rates, although those will help, and we will see some housing sale increase. But for most people, the overall expense of the house since 2023 has gone up, and it hasn't come down, and interest rates is only the start. The data shows fewer homes are going to be sold this year. So mortgage brokers and realtors are looking for second jobs, and the rest of us are probably standing pat, just getting the lower monthly costs we can by hanging on to a house if we own it or renting at the best rate we can find it. And that is the story on housing in the U.S. in February of 2026. Number 5, EV sales are crashing. Well, in part, the world is broken up into 3 EV sales zones: China, EU, or all of Europe, and the United States. Well, let's take a look at this. If we're going to look from January of 22, January 26, over 4 years, China went from 400,000 to 590,000. That's pretty big. Europe was from 156 to 330. The United States went from 127 to 85. This is our lowest sales since 2022. Well, guess what? The $7,500 incentives that were on EVs have mostly gone away. And so there's not the artificial incentive, and there's affordability in the U.S., which is rearing its ugly head, and people are not buying new cars. So when you take a look at it over these years, it shows up. Now let's take a look at it only in the month of January. We go to the second chart here, and we go here, China, Europe, the United States, 23, 24, 25, 26. China growing, 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 whoop, down 25.6%. United States growing a little bit, uh-oh, look here. We were growing. Now we've come down to 85,000, 125,000, 32% crash in the sale of EVs year over year. One of my top 10 predictions for this year was that EV sales would be down, hybrid car sales would be up, and investment in battery infrastructure and charging facilities, service stations that are made up of chargers, similar to what Tesla builds with those supercharger stations, that would be the play this year. Guess what? We aren't even to the end of February, and my prediction is coming true. Take a look at it. Way down. You can also see China way down, and Europe is up slightly because Europe has steadily been on an EV kick, and they also have a certain amount of subsidies, but also they have China, BYD, dumping cars in Europe and artificially dropping prices to keep the volume up. And that's part of what's happening. So as you can see, fewer EVs are being sold here in the United States, but there's a lot of charging infrastructure for the people that do have them and a lot of battery investment for the people that do have them. And around the world, it's moderate in Europe, but it's also crashing in China, partly because guess who is one of China's biggest trading partners for EVs? It's going to be us for components, and then also they're trying to bring the BYDs here. And that is what's happening in EV. The sales, at least in the US, are crashing. That's Numbers Scream this week. If you like the way we go through numbers and you like us to analyze your business, go to the link below to betdavid.com. Take a look at the 5x5 matrix and compare where your business is at to where you want it to be and see if we could help you grow, find EBITDA, structure your company, hire the right people, put it all together, see if we can help you. We have monthly masterminds, one-on-one consulting, and a host of incredible conferences where we're out on a mission to leave you better than we found you as your business grows in 2026. Check the link below, betdavid.com. Until next time, I'm Tom Ellsworth, the BizDoc, and I hope I left you better than I found you.